Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
There is so much NFL on ESPN right now. Monday Night Football, plus pregame and postgame. NFL Live, NFL Primetime. Everything you need to stay on top of every game, every week.
Unbelievable.
And now NFL Network is on the ESPN app. More football, more coverage, more ways to watch. Football's on all season long on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app.
Hi, Dumpster Divas. Welcome back to another episode of Dumpster Dive with me, Tom Hamlet. I am flying solo today to chat about all things Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Episode 3, The White Party. Had a good time with this one. It was fun. Reminded me of the good old days of Beverly Hills when the show was invigorated with a cast of exciting, watchable people. It was a little harsh right at the top of the episode. Sorry about that, guys. No, I had a good time. I did. But I'm also back from a little long weekend upstate. I was upstate with Brian and Russell and visiting some family, so that was fun. So this morning I've been catching up on all my shows and catching up on content. And this week I'm recording a ton of backlog content for y'all with some great, great guests for our 20 Years of Housewives series. That series is going to continue to go on through the end of Ultimate Girls Trip. So that'll be kind of like the button at the end of Ultimate Girls Trip will be the final interview series of the 20 Years of Housewives. But chatting with some great, fabulous podcasters, comedians, creators. Thank y'all for supporting the episode with Blair, with Danny, and most recently the episode with H. Allen Scott. H. Allen and I, this is our first time interacting, outside of the DMs, but I really felt, like a sister connection, like I just H. Allen, if you're listening to this, if you come over to actually listen to the podcast now that I've been, vibe check has been passed, I love you, really, truly. So I had a great chat with them, and please go check that out if you have not already. We dove into kind of just like the future of Housewives and what the Bravo, impact has been on all facets of pop culture, specifically scripted television, because I do think that in the years to come, in decades, we will look back on the impact Housewives and Bravo at large had on the television landscape. So really interesting chat we had together. So make sure to go follow H. Allen at H. Allen Scott on all social platforms. And then for me, you can get this episode ad-free and early access by subscribing to either the Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube. Our YouTube membership team is growing more and more. I'm so happy to see so many Dumpster Divas checking that out. If you pay $4.99 on either platform, you can get early access ad-free versions of this very episode. So do go check that out. And I will be traveling next week. I'm going to Fire Island with some friends, and I have content scheduled to be released throughout that, and also do some check-ins while I'm there. But one big block of episodes that are going to drop is a deep dive into the season of The Challenge and the lore of The Challenge, because I am chatting with Kelly Williams of Beyond the Blinds and Nostalgia and Now. I am also going to be doing like a different part of that one challenge recap with Lovell Holder, who is the author of the Book of Luke, which I have been plugging here on the show, but I really, really enjoyed the Book of Luke immensely as a reality TV superfan. It kind of goes into, it's kind of like, did you watch Unreal? I'm asking you that question as if y'all are going to respond, but Unreal was a reality show on Lifetime that, not a reality show, excuse me, a scripted show on Lifetime that was about the behind the scenes of The Bachelor and all of the drama that went down. The Book of Luke is very similar in vibes to that, and it is a romp. Okay, it's a blast. So definitely go read the Book of Luke. That interview will come out with Lovell next week, sometime next week, as well as my chat with Kelly on all things The Challenge this season. So if you are new to The Challenge, there's like 5 episodes out on Paramount Plus, so go give that a stream. Or just listen to me and Kelly vibe out. And if you want to do a little book club, pick up the Book of Luke. I won't spoil too much of it in our interview because I do want people to go out and read it, but I will chat about it, more in depth with Lovell. So that is podcast logistics. So let's go ahead and get into this stuff. So today we're once again chatting about Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, episode 3. Kyle is hosting the white party, and essentially we spend the entire episode at said white party. And right at the top, we get lore of the white party and how Kyle has been hosting it for years. And it started out as kind of like a duo birthday celebration between 2 of the daughters, and then it evolved into what it is now, kind of because of Housewives. Housewives needed a party, and she was like, well, I always have a white party, why don't I film it and kind of make it extravagant? And it's become a mainstay in that franchise. Most notably, though, we have to spend a second and tip our hats to season 2 of Housewives of Beverly Hills, a season that I have mentioned quite a bit on our retrospectives as one of the great seasons of reality television. Season 2, Beverly Hills. Go rewatch it if you need a season to rewatch. I really it is just top to bottom bangers in that season. And a big moment of that season is the white party, where Taylor Armstrong and Russell go to the party, and Kyle has to meet them out in the front yard and be like, hey, so you actually are going to have to go home. Because Russell, you have tried to sue Camille, who is in this house right now, and I do not really want you associating with this group if you're going to be suing people. Now, of course, this was in the middle of all of the insanity, madness surrounding Taylor's trigger warning domestic violence situation with Russell. I think, honestly, we need a deeper dive into this season of Beverly Hills, like a multi-part docuseries about everything that went down behind the scenes, because there's so much that wasn't being said. And now we said it, in the words of Camille, because Camille took to the cameras to kind of out the situation happening with Taylor, which in hindsight ages poorly. I have to be honest with you, especially knowing Camille's political leanings. It's kind of like, is this a anti-victim, anti-women situation? It's not that she was capping for Russell. It's just like, is that really the most effective thing to do? I spent some time thinking about it this morning, actually, because I've always looked back on that moment as kind of canon and really a breakout star moment for Camille Grammer. But now I'm, look back on it a little differently as we've learned more about DV and how to protect victims, and I just struggle understanding the nuance of Camille outing that in that moment, So, I don't know. I'm curious in a safe way, in a safe and honest way. I am curious to hear what you guys have to think about that, because it's funny. It's funny to look back on it and be like, oh, this maybe wasn't as iconic as maybe we thought it was of Camille when all this went down. But the white party holds a lot of lore, and it is important to showcase lore here on Ultimate Girls Trip, and I really appreciate it. One note, though, and Danny Pellegrino said this so well on Threads, that was like, I'm loving Ultimate... Well, you know what? Let me just pull it exactly up. I'm loving the new Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, but every episode does feel like when those 90s sitcoms would have a clip episode in season 7 with almost all flashback footage and then 3 minutes of the character in present day reminiscing about the flashback footage. It like Golden Girls did this always. They'd be like, remember the time, Blanche, when you were getting fucked from behind. That's kind of like what the show was, you know. It's like Sicily, 1976. So, yeah, I agree. It is a little bit like that. This episode leaned heavily on flashback footage, but you know, it works okay for this because in the end, like this is not a show you should watch if you've never watched Housewives. This would be an insane entry into Housewives. But we get kind of entry footage of all of the old housewives, not old in age, well, some, but old housewives of Beverly Hills. We get Camille Pernicious Grammer. We have Adrienne the Hoof Malouf. We have Eileen Davidson. We have Teddy Mellencamp. We have Crystal Kong Minkoff. We have Denise Richards. And, of course, Kevin Lee, she is there. And he did do the party planning for this party. So shout out to Kevin. He always crushes these parties. And through all of the clips as all of these people walked in and their lore. Oh, Erica, of course, was there. Sutton was there, but she wasn't seen as much because she had the previous episode. And Dorit declined an invitation, which feels insane for Dorit. Dorit, baby, you need to stay on television as long as you can. I think that's wise from a financial situation. Stay on TV as long as you can. Show up wherever there's an invite. So, but what I was going to say is that seeing all of these women walk in, seeing clip packages of their moments, I did for the first time in a minute feel the urge to say I miss Lisa Vanderpump. Lisa Vanderpump really was of an era of Housewives. She was that like era 2, I call it. Maybe era 2 venturing into era 3 of Housewives. And she was kind of the star of that era. I really believe that she carried that show for a long time in a really great way. I turned on her when I think the audience at large turned on her when she really leaned into plotline manipulation. Whenever she dropped those magazines in Brandy's suitcase, that made my ears kind of perk up, like, what's happening here? And then when she, you know, fast forward a couple seasons later, her Lucy Juicy Apple Juicy, I'm not even going to get into it, but like, that's where she lost me. But going back and seeing like season 1, 2, 3, Lisa Vanderpump, and you know, she continued to have moments after that, but like seeing her in a good spot with the girls, ribbing the girls a bit, having a hee hee ha ha. She really, really brought a lot to the show. And maybe it's distance makes the heart grow fonder. But in this episode, I thought to myself, how wonderful would it have been to have Lisa Vanderpump there? So I did miss her. Shout out to Lisa. On the way to the event, though, we have Lisa Barlow, Vicky, and Teresa in a car. And Lisa Barlow is upset that Whitney and Bronwyn will be in attendance because she doesn't really have a relationship with them. Now, this was kind of a big through line through this episode. But what I have to say to that, Lisa Barlow, is that you kind of did that, diva. I understand that they're messy, too. Everyone has fault in it. But, Lisa, you're the one that hits below the belt. You're the one that can't keep people's names out your mouth. You're the one that can't stop talking about people's families, about people's marriages. And you say it's in retaliation, but like, at what point is it just you being an asshole?
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget, the Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
There is so much NFL on ESPN right now. Monday Night Football, plus pregame and postgame. NFL Live, NFL Primetime. Everything you need to stay on top of every game, every week.
Unbelievable.
And now NFL Network is on the ESPN app. More football, more coverage, more ways to watch. Football's on all season long on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app.
Ouch. This knee is killing me, but I can't stop training. The marathon is in 2 weeks.
Let's get on ZocDoc and find a doctor to take a look at that for you.
Okay.
Here's a review. Dr. Craddock really takes his time.
No, I don't have time.
What about Dr. Charles? His patients say he can help find a quick fix, and he's in network.
Great, now we're talking. Book it.
Booked. 1 mile down, 19 to go.
Bring it on.
You've got options. Download the ZocDoc app today.
And that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. So I don't feel that bad for Lisa. This is a great season for Lisa, like a great television moment for Lisa, because I find her to be so watchable and thrilling. Thrilling is a stretch. I can't believe I just said that. She's just a good time on this season, and I'm having a nice time with her. And I really mean that. I am, because I have my issues with her. But let's not forget, in the confines of her own show, she's not the like happy-go-lucky girl in the corner just happy to be there. She's the instigator a lot of times. So Teresa says under her breath after Lisa says that, she goes, everybody has it out with their cast. It's a lot. And I'm like, now Teresa, honestly, you and Lisa are similar in some ways, because you're very much like, when you're outside of the room of your show, you're like, why does everybody hate me? I'm just Teresa. Judice. But then when you are, in the show, you're like, and fuck you, Margaret. You're a snake, prostitution whore. So that's my thing. I'm like, you can't have it both ways. Teresa and Lisa, okay? They're kind of a dangerous combo together, because they're both so delusional that, they might just believe their own bullshit if they just talk to each other long enough. And Kyle's walking around the party, and Kyle runs up to Camille and Adrian. They're just talking about the old days of Beverly Hills, and she was telling them about how on the first episode of Ultimate Girls Trip, they saw all the old photos of them, and she was like, I couldn't believe I was wearing just like a bodycon one-shoulder dress. Like, how out of fashion was that? Camille is wearing, at the time, current day, a bodycon one-shoulder dress. I laughed out loud, and she was like, no, Camille, that's your vibe. It works for you. It's just, I'm a little ahead of the times. I will say this whole episode, Camille was like fighting for her life to get a role back on Beverly Hills. And they always try to make Camille happen, and I think Camille peaked in season 2. I think season 1 was wild. She was wild a villain. She cleaned up her act a little bit for season 2 and became really wonderful, but still a little villainous. I know I just said that we should think back on that moment, but I'm saying at large, like, she was an enjoyable piece of the puzzle in season 2. But then after that, it's like, what did she bring? She got fired after season 3, I believe, and then, yeah, who knows? They keep trying to make Camille happen. Stop making Camille happen. And we also get Portia walking into the party. She goes, is this party outside? I said, Portia, I feel you on that, girl. I am not here for an outside party. Okay. I'm a HVAC girl. HVAC girls unite. Let's move this thing inside. Let's move this baby inside. The only time I want to be outside is in a place like Salt Lake City, where it's like heaters are set up and we're in our cute fall winter chic. I don't need to be outside in California. I'm all set on that. For a party where we have to get dressed up in like gowns. That's my thought. And Portia is also like, it's a big white party though, and I brought the pepper because this party has a lot of salt. It is white. It is white. Like white. Kyle doesn't, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know all of her friends. The white parties, of past are often very white in multiple ways. Luann, meanwhile, is preparing for her cabaret moment. She's in like big sunglasses and this like Leo and wings, just being like, darling, don't I look amazing, darling? Now, this is a big Luann episode. Luann has a star turn. I think it's time I tell you all my Luann story. Now, old dumpster divas that have been here since 2020. Yes, I've been doing the show for 6 years, even though some of you just learned my name last month. I have been here for a bit. So there is a backlog that is waiting for you to dive into. But that's not a read. That's just truth. It takes time for people to find. One thing about Tom, it takes time. And, back in 2015, New York City Pride fell on the Marriage Equality Supreme Court decision. Now, before the Supreme Court decision, had already been asked to be a part of a float through a friend of mine, and he had been asked to be a float captain on a float, and he had learned that it would have been the Countess's float, he said. And he said, I know you're a big Housewives fan. You want to come be on the float with me? We're just like essentially walking alongside the float, making sure the float and the Pride Parade is, doing what it's supposed to do, float. It's very low stakes. So we get to the float, Pride Parade Sunday. I did know that, once again, Luann was going to be there. However, the float itself was not like Luann's float. The float was for her production company, the music production company, not hers, sorry, the production company that she was signed to, that produced Money Can't Buy You Class and Chic C'est La Vie and Girl Code. And, I don't know if she still continued to work with them after those 3 singles, but they had brought her on to do performances of her song with other artists signed to that label. And if you remember, in season 3 of RHONY, we get to meet that the music man. He's like a jarringly bald, kind of thumb-looking music producer who claims to have worked with Madonna. So, jury's out on the truth of his resume, but he was on the float as well, and so was all of the artists that are also signed with him. But of course, Luann is the star, and this is the narrative that she, set for herself. She's the star. She's the reason for the season. This is her float. So, on top of it being a float for this music company, the float had also been sponsored by a charity, and this charity was a charity for this young girl who had, I believe she was somewhere on the LGBTQIA plus spectrum, and she also was dealing with some sort of brain disease. And she was there, and she was there with her mom. And so the charity was sponsoring the music production float. So those are the people kind of in charge. Underneath it is all of the artists, okay? So we get to the float. Luann is not there yet, but the mom and the daughter from the charity are there, and they're asking us to roll up T-shirts that say like the charity's name on it that we can throw off the float as the parade goes around. Now Luann shows up, I would say about an hour late, in a glitter jumpsuit with her daughter Victoria de Lesseps, and they look twisted. Now we were supposed to be there at 9 a.m., I think. They arrived at like 10 a.m., a little after 10, twisted. And they get there, and she's like, darling, Victoria and I, we were just fighting over a model who wanted to fuck the model. And Victoria got him. Darling, I need a glass of rosé. I'm not kidding. That is the conversation that was happening. Allegedly. They were talking about, they had a rager the night before, and they had both been, fighting over some models. Like mother, like daughter. And so we're like, okay, party. That's crazy. I talk about how much I, love Housewives and love Luann. And this was before her, like, kind of, Luann has star seasons and then she has some more demonic seasons. This was before Tom. So, like, she had not entered into full Tom D'Agostino mania. She was still kind of, like, in that phase of, like, Jacques is out. I'm living my life as a single woman on the Upper East Side. I'm going to just kind of bop around town. And so she gets on the float, and right after she gets on, an unannounced guest appears. One Dorinda Medley. And Dorinda arrives with John. Do you remember John? Dry cleaner John? And Dorinda, this was during or right after that first Dorinda season had aired. So we just knew who Dorinda was. Her star was not on the rise fully just yet. She was kind of like, she was a breakout star that season, but she was still like kind of slowly building up her momentum as this like huge star in the Bravo universe. So she was very humble and very chill, and she was super sweet to us. And I was asking her a lot about the show, and she was talking about how authentic her relationships were with these women on the show. And she was like, I literally know these women. So it was a really easy, stepping stone into reality TV, because Heather and I had known each other for years out in the Berkshires. Luann, Ramona, and I had all known each other through events on the Upper East Side. So I just felt like a good fit to join the show. And she was a blast. And I really, really had a good time with her. Now, Luann, however, walks over to me helping the charity mom and daughter roll the t-shirts up, and she comes over and she goes, darling, no one told me there was going to be a t-shirt. We could have put on the t-shirt girl code, chic c'est la vie, don't be all uncool. We could have put a Luann tagline on the t-shirt. I can't do this voice anymore because it's actually hurting me. But I don't know what came over me. I don't know if it was the spirit of Bethany Frankel, but I turned to her and I go, okay, I'm sorry, but I actually don't know that this part of it is about you.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
Priceline Negotiator.
It's me, the
Priceline Negotiator.
We don't need the jingle twice.
What about a third time?
Stop it. This is about vacation inflation and how Priceline negotiates amazing deals on hotels, flights, and rental cars.
Seems like you decided.
Yeah, but I didn't mention that you can save up to 60% off hotels in the Priceline app.
Time to read the tagline.
Fine. No one deals more deals than
Priceline.
Please stop.
Priceline.
Touche.
Priceline.
Priceline.
Amazon Health AI presents Painful Thoughts.
Why did I search the internet for answers to my cold sore problem? Now I'm stuck down a rabbit hole filled with images of alarmingly graphic sores in various stages of ooze. I can clear my search history, but I can never unsee that.
Don't go down the rabbit hole. Amazon Health AI gets you the right care, fast. Healthcare just got less painful.
And that didn't go great. That did not go over great. And Luann said, oh, okay. Well, I have a job for you then. She goes into her bag and pulls out a 15-foot long sign that says Countess Luann on it and says, I want you to hold this in front of the float. So me and my friend Hunter, we had to hold the Countess Luann sign in front of this float that wasn't about her for the whole duration of the parade And, you know, throughout the parade, she was getting lit and twisted, and we were having the best time. She did yell at me, and we had a little bit of a tiff, but we were all lit and twisted. So this wasn't just a Luann. This was all parties involved, and we were having a great time. However, also Dorinda, in true Dorinda fashion, Irish exited from the float. I didn't know you could Irish exit from a float, but I remember I saw her like stumbling off the float and running into like just the parade and to take the subway home. She was like, I can't do this anymore with you, Luann. And so she heads out, and we're getting towards like the end of the parade route. Excuse me. And Luann's daughter, Victoria, her and Luann are in these sequin jumpsuits, and Victoria is walking with us with the sign in front of the float and trips and falls and rips her entire jumpsuit open. And she's like, coochie out. And I kid you not, Luann runs up to this like teen who is dancing in the middle of the street with a rainbow flag. It looked like a teen that had taken the NJ Transit while mom and dad were at work and said, I'm gonna go to the Pride Parade and live my full last life. And what does Luann do? But she rips the flag out of the hands of the child. That's a child. And wraps it around Victoria and throws her back on the float. They both get back on the float, and the parade is ending. And at the end of the parade, the foot traffic goes one way, and then the floats go another. And we didn't get back to the float in time, so we got separated. And so the float goes one way, we go the other. And I still have Luann's sign that says Countess Luann, BravoTV.com. Don't be all uncool, whatever it said. And Luann turns around on the float and is like, I need my sign. And then I never saw Luann again. And I got to keep the sign, and it lived underneath my bed for approximately 5 years. And then I did get rid of it in like 2020. And that was before I started the show. And I feel sad to this day that the sign is no longer that said the Countess Luann, BravoTV.com. I'm going to take a bow. That's the story. It's a long one. I know it's long, but there's so many buttons in it that are just insane. So do clip that. Clip that. Except anything I said that sounded bad. Don't clip that. But Luann, if you ever get to this, I love you. I think you are a superstar. I think you are one of the best to do it. I think, you know, in my top 5, you and Portia Williams always will live up there as two of the greatest women on these shows that have also shown just an incredible arc, shown every part of your life, and have transformed so much throughout the years. So, Luann, it is all love. I love you so much. Please come on the show. Come on the pod. Let's hash out this beef. Squash the beef. I also still have Victoria De Lesseps' phone number. So, Victoria, maybe I'll text you to text your mom. Come on the pod. Let's see. So Luann is preparing for the cabaret. Let's just jump into the cabaret of it all. Oh wait, no, sorry. Before that, there's some drama that does happen before that. We get an Eileen Davidson moment. Eileen is talking about her experience on reality TV, and she says, in quote, I learned so much about people, what they'll do to stay relevant. And she said this whole thing to Camille. And I said, now Camille, you need to open up your ears and play that one back one more time. People will do anything to stay relevant. You heard that, Camille? Luann also reveals the lore between her and Erica, and essentially they had beef over Luann saying that Erica was an asshole. And this is what I like about Luann too. She's like, you're being an asshole. Like, I'm not like beefing with you. Like, I don't really care, but you're just being an asshole. And this actually was a perfect example of the issue with Beverly Hills, right? Is that Erica went in being like, I'm not going to acknowledge Luann. I'm not going to give her the time of day. Luann is over here being like, hey, what's up? What's good? Why are things weird? And Erica's hiding from the topic because she's used to, on her show, letting stories elongate over 10 episodes. Luann's from the olden days of Housewives where it's like there's an issue at the beginning of the episode and it ends at the end of the episode. And so she's just the whole episode trying to chase Erica down to be like, can we just be fine? I didn't really know. I didn't know you were going through shit with Tom. I didn't know any of this. Can we just be good? Okay. And it really reminds you of like why New York was good in its heyday and why Beverly Hills despite the ratings, which Kyle made a comment about this in this episode, being like, we are the highest rated. It's still the biggest issue with Beverly Hills is that nothing gets resolved. There's no resolution, thus leaving us always sitting on like a bad feeling. I like resolution, conflict resolution. That's what these shows are about. We also have Giselle doing the dirty work and the valiant work of trying to understand how we can get to the bottom of what's going on in Salt Lake City. Brian and Whitney won't look at Lisa and Meredith. Oh, Meredith is there. I forgot to mention that. And, you know, I kind of don't care. Although the only thing I do care about is when was this filmed in adjacency to the season of Salt Lake City? That's what I want to know. That is what I want to know. Luann gets down her harness on a stepladder behind the white party on a zip line, and she says, "Darling, Tilda Swinton came to see my show. I have to impress the crowd." And then, you know, Luann flies in on a zip line and almost crashes into the floor, and two rose bushes pick her up, and they dance to Chic C'est La Vie as Teresa Giudice sings Chic C'est La Vie, Save On, Save On. Can we do a cheers to this moment? A cheers to a really wonderful scene in Housewifery. The bushes were making me laugh because, now, why were they in Air Force Ones? Why were the bushes in Air Force Ones? A sentence I never thought I'd say. Also, during Luann's performance, we get a montage of all the singers, and I want to give a shout out to a song that doesn't go talked about enough in the catalog of great Housewife songs. And I actually think I'm going to do a Housewife song single blind ranking, or not blind ranking, tier ranking. And this one has to be in the mix because I think we forget about the iconography of Real Close by Danielle Staub. Danielle Staub, like many housewives, had their lesbian moment, and her lesbian lover curled up on a kid's piano bench in the old Watch What Happens Live studio, which housed approximately 10 people, including the guests and the cameramen, and sang Real Close, where Danielle's like, "Real close." It's too good. And then we also get Coffee and Love. I love Coffee and Love. It's terrible. It is actually one of the worst written songs of all time, but I do love it because I love my friend Donnie. And if you guys know Donnie, it's one of his favorite songs, kind of unironically. And I have a lot of questions about that, but I'm just going to go ahead and have to say, yeah, sure. I love it too. And then you know what? One that I want to hate that I can't is On Display. It's a banger. What can I say? It's a banger. While Luann is singing, we get a hot mic moment of Portia Umansky saying to her father, Mauricio, "Can we book her for my 18th birthday?" Luann finishes and everyone's like, wow. And Vicky is such a fucking suck of energy. And she's just like not impressed. That bothers me. Once again, we get Erica and Lou talking it out. We kind of talked about that already. Also, Giselle and Portia are unpacking the Salt Lake City drama. And I will say that Giselle tells Portia that Whitney and Braun said that the whole city of Salt Lake City does not fuck with either Meredith or Lisa. And Portia just makes me laugh. She goes, "The whole city? The whole city? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?" Lou and Vicky sit down. You know, Vicky says, "Why do you hate me?" Lou says, "You're a fun suck, and I can't really stand your ass." And then they talk about Miss Piggy versus Porky Pig. This made me laugh. And then Vicky's like, "I have a lot going on. I just got inducted to the Hall of Fame." And Luann goes, "Of what?" And Vicky goes, "Insurance." And Luann goes, "Not really." But, you know, it's really sad to see Vicky, who is a legend in her own right. We can't take away the fact that she's a legend of the Forum, but it's sad to see her be on not one, but two shows currently airing, and both of which her storyline is, "You are sad and a fun suck. Fix that." I just don't think she's right. I don't think she's well, and I don't know how to fix it. Don't know how to fix it. Then Camille wrote a speech that doesn't get a mic in like a moment. She's mic'd herself, but she like doesn't get to give the speech to anyone. She just like rallies a couple housewives around and gives this half-assed speech. I'm like, Camille, go back to what Eileen said. People will do anything to get back on reality television, okay? And you're trying to have your moment. The speech was kind of nice, and then Camille starts puffing out of a pen, and I don't know if that was a vape or a weed pen, but I was shocked. I would be shocked if that was a weed pen. Camille on a weed pen? I could not see that. And this all reminded me of that season of Beverly Hills where Camille asked Kyle to be a bridesmaid at her wedding, and Kyle looked utterly shocked and confused because she's like, girl, I don't know you like that. It just still feels like that. Like she's trying to get in with the popular girl, being Kyle, and Camille is the outsider. And it's like, Camille, look elsewhere. Look elsewhere. Vicky and Lisa also had this happy anniversary moment with Mauricio that was so cringe. Vicky was saying, we cried about your divorce all day yesterday. Killed me. And then they all get back in the car, and Vicky and Teresa are just having fun talking about Chic C'est La Vie. This is why I do love Teresa when she's on other shows, because she really is a joy. She carries so much baggage with her own cast, and her ego is there, but I have so much fun with her when she's on like an Ultimate Girls Trip or on like Watch What Happens Live, because she's just like funny and fun. And I really love this moment of Lou playing back her video of her coming down on the zip line, and Vicky is sitting there like, will you shut up? And Luann's like, do you want to come to my room for a drink when we get back? And she's like, not really. Vicky's going, not really. I can't do not really anymore. Do you hear my voice? It's like going from doing too much Luann work. We got to wrap it up. And the ending the episode on Teresa being like, Chic C'est La Vie, ça va, chic c'est la vie. Ça va, chic, c'est la vie, ça va. It's great. What can we say? It's great television. But that wraps up this week's episode, or recap rather, of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I love y'all for being here. And just a reminder, you can support the show a couple ways. You can rate 5 stars on whatever platform that you subscribe to the show on. Also, if you have a little extra cash in the bank, you can subscribe to the Patreon at the $5 tier for early access video and audio, and you get actually a live with me once a month, which will be coming up this week. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that for my patrons and my YouTube members. But on both YouTube and Patreon, there is a $15 tier. That tier is just for people that want to throw a little extra cash that they got in the bank at the show, and you do get your name read at the end of every episode. So I want to give a big shout out to my father, who just go check Threads. I'm going to update y'all. I don't have time today to update y'all on it, but my dad is emailing me notes on the show on Threads. Okay, go look at that. But shout out to you, Dad. And then shout out to Mom, Andrew, Barbara, Kayla, Andrew, Brandon, Wendy, and Sarah. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate the love and the support of the show. Y'all keep this whole thing afloat, and I really, really appreciate it. Love to you all. I'll be back with tons of killer content this week. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
Every mile matters, whether you're driving your dream car or your daily commuter. The Mobil 1 team knows that. It's why we created Mobil 1 Advanced Clean Motor Oil. It cleans your engine in one oil change and helps extend engine life, delivering performance, protection, and cleanliness for vehicles of all ages. All to help keep your engine running like new, whatever you're driving. Visit mobil1.com/advancedclean to learn more.
At ZocDoc, we know being a healthy adult is like living in a video game. Every day has side quests, taxes, laundry, birthdays, and just when you're leveling up, you have to book a doctor. The insurance portal crashes, they put you on hold, your doctor doesn't take your plan, game over. We see you, so we made booking a doctor easy. Download ZocDoc, search by specialty, insurance, and availability. Book instantly, no cheat codes required. Find a doctor you love with ZocDoc.
I see you.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole family.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.